Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 589. And today we're going to be talking about mental toughness. Now, before we get into today's subject, which is a very important one to be had, this is being broadcasted live on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough. And you'll be able to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all those bells and whistles if you wish, because I go live Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Mondays is Motivational Monday, which is this episode. And on Wednesday, we do Hypnosis Wednesday. And on Friday, we have more of a chill out experience. But if you do want to be able to be connected with me on these live streams, I would totally go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough, or on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Joseph's fan page. And of course, as always, you might be listening to this on the app. And if you're not, you can get all these audios, well over 500, because we said 589 as the episode, but you also get a ton of hypnosis sessions there for free, over 100 in the free section. You can actually listen, and in the day you can listen as you go to sleep by toggling the little toggle. Of course you would toggle, but also you can create your own custom hypnosis. And of course, if you would like to leave a review, it'll be greatly appreciated, because it means we're helping more people get more mental toughness. And I think if we are all going to go through life in a powerful way, we want to make sure that we can support others as well. So leaving a review is going to be able to do just that. So in this episode, we are talking about mental toughness. And what is the answer? Now, of course, there are many answers to mental toughness. There really, really are. And when I think about mental toughness, this might be counterintuitive. Because when we think of what is being tough, we think what? Strong? We feel like we can't be vulnerable. We gotta be like, go get it. We gotta be like built like a fortress. We gotta build these walls up and go, look, I am a strong person and I make things happen. We want that in the inside, right? We want that mental toughness. But I was thinking today, because this is the day after of the European Championship with England, sadly for me, congratulations to Italy, of course. England did not lift up the cup. And it was interesting because you've got these, what I would call children, like 19 years old, taking penalties to decide a game, to decide a nation's future in a way. And stepping up to do something like that is more than courageous. Like, it is crazy to think that someone can hold the hopes of a nation to do something and unfortunately not succeed this time, because there'll be other times when they will prevail, they'll learn, they'll grow. But to have that on your shoulders, as an analogy, a real analogy, it's important to know that mental toughness is not always about being strong. Mental toughness is not always about having to be this secure person. Mental toughness is actually about being gentle upon yourself. Now, focus on that. We think of mental toughness as being something strong, something powerful, something resilient, something so secure. But in reality, if we go down to the deeper aspects of it, it is also about being gentle on your experience in life without putting those comparisons upon yourself to other people's successes, or to your family, or what your parents think. That mental toughness is not about the comparison. It's not about beating yourself up. It's actually about being gentle on your growth. You see, sometimes you won't win. Sometimes you will feel like you've failed. Maybe you've tried many, many times and you have not succeeded quite yet. But just because you haven't succeeded now, it doesn't mean you won't in the future. Just because you've so-called failed, where really failures are just learnings, they're opportunities to learn and grow and to refine and redefine who you are. That mental toughness, yes, on the exterior, seems like we should be tough. But it's also about being gentle upon yourself. You see, when you are hard on yourself, when you beat yourself up, you are putting blame and hate onto the one thing which runs it. Now, it's easy as to why we might put blame and hate upon our issue, to that comparison complex, the imposter, for self-sabotage, of a lack of esteem, the lack of abundance. We can be annoyed and frustrated. And it's easy as to why that is the case, because we're not living the life that we want. We're not quite there yet. But remember, when you are putting blame upon yourself, when you're putting that with a negative energy, when you're beating yourself up, when you're directing that energy on the inside of you, you're placing also that hatred or that dislike or that resistance, that conflict upon your unconscious mind. Now, if you are putting that blame and hatred toward yourself and your unconscious mind, how motivated are you going to feel? How powerful are you going to feel? You know what it's like when you've been told that you weren't enough. I'm sure there's been many experiences when you were told that who are you to achieve this? Who are you to get to where you want to be in life? You're not going to make it. Those projections of other people have become self-projections within ourselves. We've taken their stories and applied it to one. And if we're applying it to ourselves, we are actually causing us to have more resistance, more conflict. We've got to be gentle. Because if we place that hate and place that blame, and we place that resistance to our unconscious mind, how's it going to feel? As I said, you know how it feels when someone doesn't believe in you. You know how it feels when someone has judged you. You know how it feels when you've been showed up in front of everyone. You start to reflect it upon yourself, and you start to you try to digest it, but it doesn't quite get there. You don't get to process it. You start to implode, and that doesn't feel good. Now imagine sending that energy to yourself at a deep unconscious level. Is it going to want to learn? Is it going to feel like it's heard, seen, and felt? We know that's important, to be seen, heard, and felt. If you are putting that energy upon yourself, let alone when anyone else could be doing it, whether it be one person or many people, if you are taking the baton and doing it upon yourself, that is not mental toughness. Being hard on yourself is not mental toughness. Now, there are times in life where you have to be strong within yourself, but in the right way, in the pure way, where you're going to say, look, I'm going to assume responsibility today. I'm going to do whatever it takes, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. When things don't go my way, I'm going to become resilient. I'm going to adjust. We know sometimes that is the case, but I would say that is more in a pure way, of a motivating way, a driven way of assuming responsibility. But on the same notion, we have to be gentle. You've got to speak more love into yourself than any other person would. You've got to be more gentle and more courageous through that vulnerability to say, do you know what? It's okay. I've been through stuff. I've gone through experiences, and maybe this is why I am like I am. Maybe we have the reasons logically. When we get to that point of understanding that it's okay to be gentle, it's okay to let go, it's okay to realize that you are human. Think about that. You put so much expectation upon yourself, sometimes unrealistic expectation, so hard. How are we ever going to feel happier when we are our worst enemy, when we are our biggest critic? What if you turn around to yourself, or you take time for yourself and say, do you know what? I'm going to love myself a little bit more today. I'm going to be more gentle today. I'm going to realize there's a lesson in the experience. I know there's a learning here, but this could be my platform of transformation. You've got to be more loving to yourself than anyone ever will. For when you become gentle, you're giving your unconscious mind permission to change too. You're saying, look, it's okay. Yes, we're going to get through this. Yes, we're going to assume responsibility, but I do not hate this experience. I might hate what I'm going through, but I'm not hating you, the unconscious mind. I may have a dissonance to my situation, my environment. I might have that resistance there, but when that gets tougher on the outside, I'm going to be a little bit more gentle on the inside. I'm going to look to see how I can be grateful for myself. I'm going to look for the good things about myself. You see, I'm sure you've had this experience before. When you've been nice to yourself, but even in this scenario, someone's been nice to you and they've celebrated you in some way. They've seen a quality within you. They said you did a good job. Even if you didn't believe it, they saw it within you. Now, usually, depending on how conflicted we are within our mind, because we can delete, we can just deny that praise. But when someone does say something nice, then the more natural experience would be to go, oh my goodness, that's awesome. Someone sees something in me, even though I don't believe it. And on one level, it's made you want to improve yourself. It made you want to get better at it. And I've done plenty of studies of this, where that positive affirmation, that positive learning, not made up stuff, because that's not fair and that's not right, but when it's real, genuine praise upon you, it usually, for most people, makes you want to grow more, makes you want to improve more. Well, if that's the case, on the whole, wouldn't it be better, rather than being so hard upon ourselves, that we do that to our unconscious mind and we look for what it does well? What is your unconscious mind doing today which you have not been thankful for? Is it running your body, the organs, the habits, the healing? You see, your unconscious mind is doing so many things and we take it for granted, and we should be putting praise upon it. We should be thankful. We should have that attitude of gratitude. For when we are grateful for what we have and who we are, and we're grateful for our unconscious mind, we are now opening ourselves up to receive more of the same. But if you're putting that hate upon yourself, then you are dismantling the foundation of that security. Even if the system, the unconscious mind, is running the behavior and it doesn't feel good and it's not making you safe, the positive intention behind every behavior of the unconscious mind is safety, it is protection. Even fears and phobias, they try to protect you, but they're overwhelmed, they're distorted, they're generalized. There have been decisions to make us feel like we should be overly safe. And that goes for anxiety, it goes for the worry, it goes for the doubt, it goes for the low self-esteem, it goes to the imposter syndrome, it goes into the lack of abundance, the lack of relationships. There are always positive intentions. What if we start to praise the intention, not the behavior, but the intention of there's a special thing within us, always looking out for us, always wanting to try to protect us? What if we start to nurture that part of us rather disliking it? Maybe that is mental toughness. Mental toughness can be being gentle. Mental toughness can be something where you are cultivating yourself and you're giving yourself permission to feel what is needed to be felt. Not to have the big walls there. Before, if you build these walls around you, you are now within a prison. You might think they're there to protect, but you've now built the walls within your mind. The imaginary walls which will keep you stuck. What if we let go of those walls? What if we tear them down for a little bit and actually go, do you know what? I'm going to expand myself. I'm going to actually put my attention upon myself and actually praise me when I do good things. I'm going to receive when I do get good praise. Even if I don't believe it, I'm going to take it. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to see where else I can improve, and I'm going to definitely radiate within myself and beyond myself that there is a part of me trying to be safe. When you begin to direct your intention and attention in that good, positive, healing way, when you start to look within you and go, do you know what? There are some things I'm doing well. Yes, there is a learning here. It gives you permission to learn more. As I said, no one likes to be hated upon. No one likes to be told off. No one likes to be said about all the bad things and all that energy. It doesn't make you feel strong. It makes you feel weak. But maybe by being gentle upon yourself consciously as well, that we can't forget you here. We're not just talking about the unconscious mind. We are absolutely talking about you, the conscious mind. You've got to be more gentle upon yourself than anyone would be, as I said. But when you do, you actually give yourself the foundations of true security. Because do you know what true security is? It's self-certainty. When you're certain in your own ability to perform, when you're so self-certain to adapt and be resilient, and when you think about adapting and resiliency, that is strength. That is the toughness that we're after. But it doesn't come from that negative. It comes from that gentleness that we should be placing upon ourselves. So mental toughness is good and great, but it comes from the gentleness of you. The kinder aspect of you. The nurturing aspect. If you are light upon yourself, then you're going to feel lighter. It reminds me of a quote. My dad had this, and it was actually from my first ever training I went to. So I went to the same training school up in England, up north, and I lived in the south. And there was this little poster my dad took from there, or he paid for it. He didn't try to say like he stole it or something. He bought this little A5 card, and it was a real nice little quote, and it says, "Angels fly because they take themselves gently." Now think about that, whatever our beliefs are, but they're taking themselves lightly and gently. So maybe we can fly, maybe we can release the cage, the prison we've built up by just being a little bit more gentle, a little bit lighter, a little bit more nurturing. Sometimes they say, or what I've heard before, is if you want to change someone, pen them in with love. Like if you get that resistance, pen them in with love. I love that in a way. Like if I'm working with one-to-one clients, I am open and I am radiating and I'm so self-certain in that person. Like even if they don't see it in themselves, I'm going to be the biggest supporter, the believer of that person. I've got to know that within me. So if we can do that to others, why not do it upon ourselves? Why not pen ourselves in with love? Pen ourselves in the support, in the gentleness. For when you do, you give yourself that permission and freedom to grow, to shine, to fly, because you've taken yourself lightly. Now you are the only person who can do that. It's not up to me to change you. It's not up to our family to change us. It's up to us to have the awakening first. It's up to us to be the gentle person first. We should not rely on other people for that love. It's nice to get it, don't get me wrong, it's nice to feel loved, but we should be more loving to ourselves first. How are we meant to receive more gentleness and more support when we don't give it to ourselves? Because as I said, we deny it. We delete it. We might crave the external validation. We might crave that love from someone else. We might crave that feedback in our career that we're doing a good job. But it's the weird aspect, once again, a little bit counterintuitive. You want it, but we can't receive it because we do not feel it within ourselves. And that's why we feel like an imposter. That's why we reject. But we want it so much from others. But let's go within ourselves and get it there first. It's nice to receive it on the external world, but if you don't have it on the internal world of you, then you're not going to receive what you've always craved. To know that you're enough, to know that you're worthy, to know that you're deserving, to know that you're capable. It comes from within you, not through hate, not through battle, not through telling yourself off, not by comparing yourself to others, not by negating the good things, not trying to direct the anger within us so we implode. It's not about that. The mental toughness comes from gentleness. You've got to give yourself space to breathe, to grow. It's like cutting the oxygen off when we are so hateful upon ourselves. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to be strong because we are burdened and weighed down by our own self-criticism. As I said, we're more critical to ourselves than maybe some others. And I know for a fact, if you have a best friend or someone that you love, you would never be as mean to that person as you may be mean to yourself, or so critical to that person compared to how you're critical. You'd never do that for yourself. Sorry, to that person that you know or love. But we do it to ourselves, and that's not toughness. Sometimes we are motivated by the stick, right? The away from pain. But the best way of transformation is through the carrot, like going toward it, right? That's the courage that we need. So as my example to those athletes, those people who have honored their craft, who step up and show up, they should be praised even if they didn't win the cup, right? They should be praised for taking the chance and the opportunity to make a difference, the difference that makes a difference. And even in that so-called failure, maybe they did win. You see, your winning doesn't come from the outcome. The winning comes from your flexibility to get up and get going again. The winning is you never giving up. The winning is always having more love for yourself than anyone else, because it comes from within you first. The consistency to take action on your own development, to invest in time on your own development, in being gentle and moving forward. That's courageous. The willingness to take a stand for what is right. The willingness to learn in the defeat. The willingness, even all the outside is being negative toward us, is to be more gentle upon ourselves and realize that this is a foundation, this is the platform of transformation. This is where the good and great things happen. That's the evolution. That's what we're after. The wonderful changes in our life that give us the feelings of change. We want our unconscious mind to feel seen, heard, and felt just like you. You want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be felt. It is our time to rise up for what is right. So remember, mental toughness is not about building the prison around you by building up those walls and being negative and imploding within you. The mental toughness is actually being more gentle upon yourself than you ever have before. To be so encouraging and so nurturing to your unconscious and yourself to make that change. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, if you need help, all you've got to go and do is go to josephclough.info/power to watch our masterclass to learn how to stop the imposter syndrome. Maybe you want to let go of all self-doubt. Yes, you want to be able to hire us to invest in yourself so we can take you by the hand and overcome that together as a group, as a team, as a connection. But you got to go to josephclough.info/power first to see if it resonates with you. It is application only after that. It's got to be a right fit. You've got to be willing to match our intensity, because if you're not right, you're not going to change. You got to match our intensity of success and transformation so you can know that you're capable to achieve any desire and dream that you have, to have that deep self-certainty. And of course, if that's beyond you right now, you can always go ahead to freehypnosis.app. And that just means you can download the app, you can listen to these podcasts, you can listen to the hypnosis in the day and in the night. You can create your own custom tracks. All you got to go to is freehypnosis.app. I try to help as many people as possible for free via the app. And of course, then we have the 8-week system, the fully customized, tailored experience, where that's where you get to work with me personally. But with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, if you did, please go ahead and review the app as well. And with that, I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks, and goodbye.